Hi everyone, good evening. I'm talking about burnout today. A number of times I've heard around in the office that okay, I'm going through a burnout and stuff. And for the life of me, I really don't understand it. And then when the person is talking about, oh, okay, when person is talking about this is what I'm going through, I'm like, okay, so in my mind, I'm just like, okay, you're going through stress. But to that person, it's not stress, it is burnout because the person is saying, I'm going through burnout. But okay, what is exactly is burnout? So burnout is a state of emotional or physical or mental exhaustion that is caused from excessive or prolonged stress, a long overdue stress, accumulated stress over a long period of time. It is burnout. Stress is different from burnout, but stress causes burnout. Yeah, there are two different things. So, okay, so burnout in this case, I'm talking about work stress. That is causing the burnout. So work stress that is not supported becomes a burnout. What I mentioned earlier that stress is not burnout, but they're just different things. So when you put your body through stress, you get healed and nails or something, and then you want to take a drug to prevent that and stop what is going on with you. But with burnout, it takes a long period of time because it doesn't knock on your door and say that I'm here. It comes, it goes through a long period of time for it to go through burnout and to come out of it. It just never ends, so to say. So there are three distinct components of burnout. I mean that there are other things that might be affecting you that is burnout, but these three things are like the key stuff for burnout. So we have exhaustion, mentally, emotionally, or cognitively. Even when you sleep, you are restless. You don't want to sleep, and it's just not enough. You're exhausted all the time. Nothing works. Cynicism. You have a bad attitude at work. You're not interested in anything. You're irritated. You're short-tempered. You just want to be by yourself. Get your work done. Part of it. Inefficiency. You have performance issues or loss of motivation. For you can get a ticket and then you know you're supposed to spend 3 hours on it, but then you finish it the next day. Nothing spoiled. Nothing spoiled. You shall get the job done, but how you are feeling is still there. It doesn't go away, and you're just burned, and there's nothing you can do about it really, other than trying to get some things done about your environment and yourself as an individual. So, conventional wisdom is that burnout is primarily a problem of that individual. A lot of people don't understand how depression works. They're like, why are you depressed or something like, what is wrong with you? Why are you depressed? They just don't have the answer to that. But when it comes to burnout, I think some people have that kind of mentality. I was there. I didn't really understand what burnout is. And then when I went through online and just read through it, I'm like, okay. So it's not the problem of that person that, okay, what is wrong with you that you are going through burnout, something like that. It's just a problem of the environment that you are in at the end of the day. Because what the environment you are in will facilitate how you are feeling, whether you're happy or sad, where you be jeered on or communicate and stuff like that. So your environment says a lot about what you are going through, how you feel, and how you interact with your work itself. Okay, so the causes of burnout, one is unmanageable workload at work. You have lots of things to do, a whole lot of it. And then there's just no way around it. You just have to get the work done. your personal time, your work time is getting into your personal time. There's no difference between personal time and work time. So every time is just work. Lack of clarity of role, you have so many things to do. And then all of the things you have to do, they are in so many places. Maybe you just have to start learning a new thing just to get that work done. It can get frustrating, exhausting sometimes. There's not enough communication or support from the manager or supervisor. You have things to do, and then you have these things. Do this, about 10 to-do lists to do, and then you have to figure it out by yourself because the job has to be done. It will cause burnout at the end of the day because there are so many things to do. Unrealistic time pressure all the time because you have to deliver. Because you have to deliver, and then okay, you are going through all of these things, and what needs to be done? You are talking to our manager, but they don't want to listen. They just want the job to be done. Unfair treatment at work, also a cause of burnout. So how can you deal with burnout? Because a lot of people that go through, say, depression, not depression, but depression as it were, how did they handle it? Because at first, you just have to say that, okay, I am going through this stuff and I need to talk to somebody about it. Because you can say that, okay, let me try and manage my time better. But managing your time better does not take the load off your table. It just means you still have more time, more things to do at a particular period of time. So you have to be able to say, okay, I need to talk to my boss. Maybe we need to delegate some workload for me and all of that. So learn how to mentally detach from your work. Don't let personal time eat into your work time, or your work time eats into your personal time. There's always a lot to do, but at the end of the day, when you're having personal time, don't feel guilty about it. You are just taking care of yourself. Have the hard conversations. Yeah, so if you need to talk to somebody about what is going on with you, do it. If it's a team member, at least you'll be able to relate. You are doing the same work and all of that. So you have to be able to say, okay, let's talk about this thing. You heard somebody say they are going through a burnout. Approach the person and try and just listen to what the person is going through. Practice the art of doing nothing. Maybe like take a break or go on a vacation, something like that. So all of this dealing with burnout does not actually not everybody, it won't work for everybody, so to say, but you just have to know what works for you. And then when you are going through it, you don't actually know what works for you. But you have to be intentional about what you are trying to do when you are dealing with what is going on. So track how well you are doing over time. So over the period of time, because it is accumulated stress and you have to be able to manage it time after time after time. So over the period of what is going on, be able to say, okay, I need to take a step back. Right now, I need to just take this thing one at a time and just space yourself out. Track how well you are doing over the period of time and see, okay, if it is not getting too much, if it is not getting, you're not getting overloaded with what you have to do. Thank you. So, questions? Okay.
You might have developed this from younger age.
Having a bad attitude. No, so
We can't hear the question very well. Whoever is talking should not close to the microphone.
Okay. So the second point, which is cynicism. So I was just asking her that, is it possible that you might have developed this from a younger age?
okay, so this kind of attitude is different. Imagine say I'm coming to work late. I don't care about what somebody is telling me that, Tolu, you need to do something like this. And I'm like, please excuse me, I'll talk later. We'll talk later or something like that. And then you never get back to the person. It's not because of your attitude, it's because of what you are going through. You might have that bad attitude from the onset, but people would have known it as that is the kind of person this person is. But when you have that attitude that, okay, please excuse me, I don't want to talk right now and all of that, you know that, okay, this is different from who this person is. So it is when it comes to personality, it's different from what you are going through at that point.
So it doesn't mean that the person is actually suffering or is just being a burnout person.
No. So if the person has had a bad attitude from the outset,
I think what is going on here is there are times when you are in a mood, like you're just in a mood, an unnecessary mood, and then on a norms, you are this very friendly person, someone that laughs around the office, like Kofo is in right now, anyways. Someone that laughs around, and then on a particular day or over a period of time, you just start acting out, something like that. So it's not necessarily something that happens all the time. Maybe just a change in your behavior. So it might not necessarily be being cynic or something. Just a change in your behavior.
So in case you see this someone how can we like communicate and
So like I mentioned earlier, like the first thing is you own the problem. You let yourself know that I have
what if the person doesn't
exactly, but the person it has to come from the person. What if the person does not want help? So the person has to say, okay, yeah, I know what is wrong and I am willing to do something about it. So it comes first from the person, and then the person will be open enough to say, okay, talk to you about it. I know a lot of times that sharing helps, just talking, just be a listening ear and be able to say, okay, I understand what you are going through. That how can I help? I think the person will be able to say, okay, this is what I would like for something. Any other question?
I think just Babs, I think what this presentation is saying. So some people are naturally cynical, but I think what Tolu is saying is burnout can make you cynical, can make you exhausted, or can make you just make you lose performance. So I guess that's the difference, right? You can be cynical just normally, or you can be lazy, or just not motivated, but you can also acquire some of this because you're burnt out.
Thank you, Tops. Any other comment?
Hello.
Hi. Hi, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't even know if this is a comment or maybe I'm being on the manager side. So basically, when we have conversations like this, maybe conversations about burnout, about maybe the way you act at work, or things that is related to people and their natural attributes, I always hear a lot of examples that has to do with your manager or your PM, or maybe your PM is asking you to work. I'm sorry, I just want you to also understand that your manager in quotes is also human like you. They can also be experiencing burnout. Like, so as much as you want your manager to also understand, you also need to weigh things from both sides so that we can all understand each other. I can't read your mind, but I can try. I can say, oh, why is this not done? And you can tell me, oh, I'm not feeling too well. I've not been able to concentrate. I'm tired. Then we understand that, okay, maybe you need to take some time off. But if I ask you and you don't answer, and I'm asking you for updates, I'm not a witch now. When I enter your head, I know what is happening there. So I'm not saying that don't make one person the bad guy when you experience things like this, because it's not really about a person sometimes. Sometimes it's you. So let's do our burnout properly. That's my comment. Thank you for listening. That is a comment.
So, can I ask a question? Who
Yes.
has anyone here? Maybe I'm asking a rhetorical question. So, who has actually experienced burnout, and how did you handle it on the job? Or maybe there are people who are actually currently going through burnout right now.
So I have. How did I overcome it? I got married. It is very practical. Let me give an example.
Guys, we can't hear you anymore.
Stokes, can you hear me?
Usually.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. So just before I went on the break for marriage, I think that was when FBN's Palava became almost unbearable. Now, Roke also went on break just before she got married, and then she enjoyed the break. So I think it was the way of escaping burnout. And same thing for Gloria. But on the flip side, I've actually experienced burnout. I think it was when either MSME or FBN wanted to do production. I'm not sure which of them. And I think why I did back then was so first of all, I think it's personal. It depends on how you handle stress over time. So what I did back then was to separate office work and my life. I think then once it's 5 o'clock like this, then I set up the Slack reminder. Once it's 5 o'clock, I close my laptop. I'm going on. So I was able to do that because there were others that were feeling for me. At times, this God syndrome, if I don't do it, nobody will do it, makes it hard. God complex. So I think what I did back then was clearly separate office and home. It was easier for me because I don't stay in the office. For people that stay in the office, I know it might be a little difficult for them because there is no physical change in the environment. If I remember very well, what Nifem used to do back then, once it's 5 o'clock, she goes upstairs and she changes to something totally casual. So she knows she's not in the office mindset. So I think that was one thing. Then the second thing was I became more of an extrovert when I got home. When I get home, once I get home like this, my laptop is in the room. I'm downstairs chatting and gisting. So it was more or less like a mental thing for me to separate myself from the work lifestyle or work mood. But for some people, it is to eat. I did not mention anybody's name. So I think that is another. Then another thing I want to add. If you don't have money in your bank account, you can easily burn out. Because when you have to think about how you get some things done, the work is no longer interesting. When on the 7th of the month, your account balance is really like a very good jam score. So I think those are the things that I did back then, and it kind of worked. And then at times I just bring the suggestion of going on vacation or going on leave. Thank you.
Thank you,
Right.
Ali.
So
Yeah.
I also experienced the burnout when I think it was around October last year when we were working on design matchup and well all the stress that comes with it. So I remember then I knew I was actually burnt out, so I was supposed to go on a leave, but then the leave had to be postponed because of I think the interns were coming in around that period and they didn't get me around. So I think I was at work for maybe 2 more weeks. And when I finally went on leave, I fell sick. So I think I fell sick on the Saturday and I wasn't well till like the Sunday before work was about to start. And all the stress, I think continued when work resumed. And honestly, I just struggled through with it because I wasn't able to get another break till like the end of the year. So I think it became really, really evident around December. I was taking too much time. I was just tired and exhausted during the period, but I just managed through till the break, till the Christmas break, and by January I'd gotten over it. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Bolade. Is anybody burnt out now?
That's actually the next question I'm going to ask.
Huh?
If I answer honestly, I
Answer
hope my
now.
end,
Honest,
end, end of the month.
it's safe and secure.
Okay.
You like
Okay,
honesty
so
here. It's okay.
uh, I'm 65% burnt out. I'll be honest. I wanted to go on leave, but I kept pushing it. Because of the fact that we are trying to get Ginger out in good time. Um, so that explains why at times I'm rushing tickets, like trying to compile tickets together, so I don't have to keep moving things on the board. I don't do that. I don't just use the laptop. So that's me. But
Anyone else?
one way I've kind of helped it at bay is man. Thank God for where I live right now. I'm offline. So it kind of helps me to know that once I get home, I'm home. If it's not an emergency, I won't have to be called. Not the regular Slack notifications won't notify me until it's if it's important, I'll probably be called, and then I have to find a way. And then I play with Mina.
Okay. Anyone else already experiencing burnout? Everybody else. So let me just share some practical, my own experience. Really, I mean, everyone has experienced burnout at some point or the other. But just some practical tips that I have used in the past. One is exercise. So somehow I know generally in this part of the world people don't exercise a lot. I remember there was a time I was really burnt out. I was living in the UK at the time, and I'll get out in the morning, in the winter, and I'll go running. It was actually quite good. I used to come back feeling really good with myself. Not a long run, because I'm quite lazy actually when it comes to exercising. So I'll just run around the block, maybe 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometer. It's really cold, but come back, feel like I can take my day. So that's one. But another practical one is, so again, I think especially for the guys who are sat in the office, so the idea of the office and living upstairs is sort of good, but it means there's no separation between work and life. And I think that makes it difficult because then people don't really have hobbies, you know, even when you're not working, staring at a screen, people don't really read and people don't go away. So another thing that I know the Oyinbos are really good at, they take lots of short weekends. Sorry, long weekend breaks. So they'll close on Thursday, travel somewhere. Good thing is in a place like the UK, Europe is very small. So you can travel to Netherlands for 10 minutes away and they have credit card and they have maybe also have money to spend the weekend there. Some of them will get drunk until they're dead and they come back on Monday. Those things help. So here we don't have that habit. So one of the things I encourage, because I know we have to find a balance between work and just relaxing, and maybe post-COVID, because really during COVID, what can you even do? COVID in itself is a burnout amplifier. But just taking short breaks. I know Ifemi and well, this is where we miss Amarachi. They organized there were a few kind of short trips. They went to Abeokuta once. Was it Amarachi or Ifemi or something like that? And they went to Obasanjo Library. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was someone else. So such short trips, go back to Ife, have a relationship, Lord Rash, find a girlfriend. You can't be Cody all the time. So yeah, yes, yes. I'm listening.
Rumor has it that Rashid got something on birthday. Rumor has it.
Yeah.
They brought something for Rashid on birthday.
So it's just important to try and find balance. I mean, you won't always. Yes, by all means. I know we don't do enough of allowing people to go away, and sometimes when they tell me they're going, I was wait 1 more week, wait 2 weeks, etc. But try and relax over the weekend where possible. Try and don't wait until you can take 2 weeks off. You can take a long weekend. You can close on Thursday, come back on Monday, for example, or come back on Tuesday. Anything that, but when you do that as well, don't go and do PP and collect one job that you are now coding throughout, and you come back even more tired. Go and see your parents, sit down, let your mom or your dad take care of you, eat amala or whatever you like. But just find a way to refresh and get your energy back. I think that's important. And where possible, local tourism to Abeokuta, to Erinjesha, to Mikogosi, to Idori Hills, those things can also help. Yeah. So, and just find something else that's not screen focused to do, whether to read a book or to listen to a podcast, something to relax you, help you relax. And of course, exercise is good, even if you can't run. So right now, I just walk. I do some fast walking sometimes, and it helps me in the morning before I get into my day. So that's my practical tip. But if you need time off and you feel stressed, please reach out. I'm not promising that you always get it when you want it. I mean, negotiate a week or two more, like Bolade said. But I hope that when you eventually get it, you won't be sick like Bolade throughout the leave and then come back and just manage throughout. So we'll find the right balance. But yeah. But I think also the more we work on our own things, the more we have control over our time and we're not trying to meet other people's deadlines, which was probably some of the causes of the past burnouts, at least that have been said. But I know that also, I apply pressure on even internal things as well. But we should get better at it. But also let's try and manage our weekends better. I think that's one thing I try not to disturb you guys over the weekend. I try not to. Sometimes, many times I do as well. But I try not to. So that's my contribution.
Thank you, Tox. Okay. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So, see you guys next week. Huh?